Hey, coming up right now, package thieves in one state are getting an unexpected surprise when they unbox their stolen loot.
Also coming up, you won't believe how long one woman waited for her first kiss.
Oh, interesting. A little bit later on, the message one gate agent shared with passengers during an epic flight delay. Guess what? It changed everything.
Daily Flash starts right now.
Get ready for trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. The fun starts right now. This is Daily Flash.
Well, hey there, everybody. I'm Andrea Jackson.
And I am Mitch English. If you look around closely, you'll realize this is Daily Flash. Woo! And you are the most important person here. Thank you so much for joining the party. We love having fun. We got today's trends, tomorrow's talk. We also have this guy, Matt Doolittle. Hey, Matty!
Hello there. And the best way you can interact with us is to head over to our website at dailyflashshow.com. And you can send us an email, and we will talk about it on the air, possibly at flash@dailyflashshow.com.
Thank you there, Matt.
I like it. Okay. Are you doing any traveling for Easter?
No.
For the April holidays, I should say.
Like spring break is coming up. We'll probably do something then, but that's pretty much it.
So there's a place over in Italy. I believe it's pronounced Cinque Terre.
It is?
It's a very popular... It's a very
Say
popular...
it like this in your phone.
Cinque Terre.
Perfect.
It's a very popular tourist spot. They have banned flip-flops or open-toed shoes. And if you were caught wearing flip-flops or open-toed shoes or showing your foot, you could be fined up to $3,000.
Okay, what is the reasoning behind this?
They are trying to discourage tourism because they're over touristy.
Oh.
And so this is their way of saying, hey, if you want to come here, you have to play by our rules. They also have a couple of really popular pathways, and they are creating a one-way direction for these paths because there's so many people that come to their town to walk this particular path. It's known as the Path of Love, I believe. And so they're saying, again, you could face a fine if you're caught walking in the wrong direction. And I think what they want, they're trying to discourage people from coming there. They're thinking, if you're hiking these trails and you're getting hurt, you shouldn't be wearing flip-flops. So that's part of it. That makes sense. But also they're, again, trying to discourge over-tourism.
Now Crocs are goofy looking, but they're not open-toed technically.
But they are open heel.
Oh, that's what, okay. So like,
Unless you put them in sport.
So they have to be regular shoes.
They have
okay.
to be a
sport mode.
closed-toe
Yeah,
shoe.
that's a good point. There's a sport mode on the back of Crocs.
Yeah.
So maybe you can get around it.
You might. I don't know.
I don't know. But I find that they're a victim of their own success, really, it sounds like, because it's such a beautiful place, and it's unfortunate that way.
Yeah.
Places like Panama City Beach, Florida, they just had spring break.
Yes.
And the police chief just came out and said, listen, we really don't want you back.
Yeah.
I mean, because crime goes up so much during that time. So I can understand it, and residents are the ones, obviously. But they're going to see a big drop in tourism. It brings so much money.
Yeah,
to the
that's
area.
part of it. So I suppose if you're still desperate to go there and visit, you'll do whatever it takes, right? It's one of those Instagram-worthy spots, too. So I could see a lot of people, a lot of influencers show up.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious. It makes it more exclusive.
Yes.
Yeah, and I would open up a Payless shoe shop nearby, and
a tennis shoe stand.
Tennis shoe, right?
What's nuts in some of those cities, though, is they don't have a massive population. So we went to Montenegro, and they're like, do you guys realize when 3 cruise ships show up with 5,000 people on it, and we only have 5,000 people that actually live in the city, there's more tourists than people.
That's a good point, right? So then it gets overrun by tourists, and they don't have enough people to take care of the tourists.
They don't have the structure for it.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on back here in the United States. Residents in one New York neighborhood have basically just had it with package thieves. Now they're fighting back. Check this out. In a video that was shared on a group app, it shows a woman wearing an orange parka. You can see her walking by a house when she notices a package up on the porch. So what does she do? Well, creeps up, snatches the box. Little does she know, inside is nothing but cat and dog poop. According to one local, it's the latest tactic. It actually appears to be discouraging thieves. Stolen packages are big business in New York. 20% of residents receive at least 4 packages a week. That's a lot. Ooh. Cops say that 90,000 packages reported stolen on a daily basis. And also, if you think about this, having a cat, and Matt, you probably can go along with it. If you have the dog, you take them out to walk, but cats usually go to the bathroom inside. Now you have a place. Just keep your prime box and just keep it there.
Just keep
and when
it
you're
up
done,
there.
leave it out in the front door.
Just hang biscuit over the thing. Like, here you go.
So, I mean, I think it's a great idea, and shame on the people that do this. And a lot of times they're like, I don't care. You know what? If they catch, I'll just throw the box down if I run away. And a lot of times, like you said, with the cameras, they get so thinking that they're so sneaky, and they're not.
Well, I think too, there are very few consequences, it seems like, for these people, and especially in New York State, where the laws have really been loosened quite a bit. But you think about New York just in general as New York City, it's a delivery kind of city. So many people depend on Amazon deliveries for food, for basic needs, whatever it is, because it's a lot harder to have to go out to the city and buy the stuff and bring it home. So a lot of people just have it delivered.
Complete sense.
Yeah.
New York is just full of food delivery drivers now. I was just up there a couple weeks ago, and that's all. Everybody just orders their stuff from all the food delivery people.
I was in LA, and I appreciate the Taco Bell opened up. Remember the little camera booths that they used to have? Remember you drop off your photo mat? Probably put two of those together. They opened a Taco Bell that big, but it's only made for delivery. So if you're an Uber driver, you just go through the drive-thru, pick it up, and you can drive it. They have a little walk-up where you can walk up and order as well. But they see that's where everything's headed anyway.
When I lived in LA, there was a service there called Pink Dot, and Pink Dot, I think, is sort of was really started the whole Uber Eats and Amazon, because you could order anything from Pink Dot and have it delivered to your house. So if it's 2:00 in the morning and you're craving something, you call it Pink Dot, and they drove around these pink Volkswagen Beetles, and they were blue with pink dots on them, and then they would deliver to your house at whatever time, whatever you needed.
We are a society of convenience.
Yes, that is true.
Mitch, does your wife know you had Taco Bell?
No, I just drove by that place, but I did.
It was for pickup deliveries only.
Right, yeah.
That's how I found out.
Just observing it.
I didn't need it,
Yes. A California woman says she didn't have her first kiss until she turned 30 years old. Now, she admits she has no regrets about signing a purity card when she was a teenager and committed to not having sex until she got married. She said she came close to caving to her desires when she was just 25 during a surfing trip in New Zealand. Fast forward to when she met her now husband. The two agreed to wait until they were married to consummate their relationship. Despite some criticism, she says staying a virgin until she was married has had a positive impact on their relationship.
All right, it works for her, and we should not chastise her or anything like that. I mean, it is a big part of marriage if you think about that.
Yeah.
But if you put all the eggs in your basket for that, you're going to be very disappointed because things change over years and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it seemed to work, and it shows her diligence and made it for a better bride. So I have none. God bless her. I mean, that has to be hard these day and age.
I would think so.
Never mind. I meant hard to be able to do that.
Get out. Get your stuff.
Can I talk about this and then I'll go to HR? Because I
please
didn't
do.
mean it like that. Flight delays, they're never fun, are they?
No, never.
Man of heavens, I didn't mean to say it like that.
you
But
didn't.
one gate agent turned into a very tough moment into a very teachable one. American Airlines employee, and they've had a lot of practice, American Airlines, on apologizing sometimes. Anyway, they took the moment to address passengers whose flight was delayed more than 8 hours. Rather than just stay silent, the gate agent walked into the terminal and addressed the group. She told them that when they board the aircraft, to please be nice to the flight attendants. She also mentioned that flight crews have tough days too. She reminded them that the crew has been waiting just as long as the passengers.
That's a good point.
So they're just as likely to be just as frustrated. Her moment has just gone viral, with many applauding her for speaking the truth. And it's also a good reminder for us to hear that. I had no problem. It's like, hey, look, they've had a hard day too. But let's address the problem. Why was there an 8-hour delay? And sometimes it can't be delayed because of, you can't do anything about it because of weather. People forget that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But then sometimes, to me, it's just asinine excuses.
Crew not showing up.
Crew not showing up.
We got stuck in
near
Vegas.
Their hours.
Remember that time we got stuck in Vegas and then had to sleep for like 3 hours in Atlanta just because the crew didn't show up on time?
And I took a flight one time where we were flying down to Orlando, and they go, "We're stopping in Charlotte," and because of bad weather. And then we get off, and they go, "Well, you guys are going to stay here. No, we don't have you rebooked or anything. You have to find your own." And I was stuck in Charlotte, and I'm like, I get it. It was Breeze Airlines. I'm just going to say it, and because they never compensated.
I'm flying that next week.
I had to go and get a hotel room. Never got compensated for it, and they said it was a weather, but it really wasn't, because when they landed, same thing. The crew had too many hours, and they wouldn't have been able to go on. But they called it a weather-related event. And then the next morning, I'm taking off. they go, we have too much fuel on board. They literally flew around like this. And I tracked it, and you should see it. It's like this. Well, we can't land with this much fuel. I'm like, what are you people doing? And then they go, you people? What do you mean by you people? I go, I didn't mean it like that.
Makes you really think about flying twice lately, especially in this day and age. And you see all these outbursts happening on airplanes. You're like, do I really want to be a part of that madness? No.
And everybody has an airline story to share. That was mine.
This is true.
Right?
Yes.
Let us hear yours. I'd like to hear some crazy ones. In the meantime, we'll be back with more Flash, today's trends, tomorrow's talk. Stick around. Hey, welcome back to your favorite entertainment show, Daily Flash. I'm Mitch English, and it's time for us to jump into parenthood. All right, if you have a teenage person in your house, those teenage years can actually become a trip when it comes to connecting with your teen. But a trip and even games might actually be what you and the entire family need to bring the family together. Kate Loweth is a contributor for Business Insider. She joins us now with more. Hi there, Kate.
Morning.
Okay, let me ask you. It's so hard to connect with your kids, and sometimes just so that because they always think you're not cool and that sort of thing. But there are some ways that we can connect with our youth, and one of those things is like video games and arcades. Why do you think like these sort of places like arcades are making such a big comeback right now?
I think there's something to do with the nostalgia. Parents really remember these from our youth when we were younger, and kids really like the nostalgia element to it. So there's just something for both of those age groups.
I got, now that video games has made their way into the homes, with your Xbox and your PlayStations, that sort of thing, where we had only the Atari and we usually played the really good games in the arcades. So we kind of, we take it for granted that there used to be this place where we would spend all afternoons pretty much engaged. What is it about that arcade experience that keeps teens just engaged for a while?
There's a wide range of games there now. It's not just, the Tetris and the Pac-Man we remember from our times in arcades, but there's, virtual reality games. And so there's just something really for everything. So I have 3 teenagers, and I find that, they each can find something that they enjoy in an arcade. So it kind of offers a wide breadth of activities for a family.
And there's places like Dave & Buster's and stuff where it's not only just the arcade games, with, video games, but you also have like skee ball and that sort of thing. And those are the things that you always seem to remember when you take a family vacation, because I've always said you should buy memories and not things. Family vacations are often all about creating those lasting memories, but how do arcades really foster a bond between the parents and even their kids?
There's kind of a low stakes competition when you go to an arcade. So you're not like actively competing against someone, even though if you have a kind of a head-to-head battle on a Tetris game, somebody might come out the winner, but you're going to go and play another game afterwards. So it kind of, lets you kind of compete, but there's not a real champion, that comes out at the end.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
There are people that, if you're looking to say, hey, I'm going to go on a trip, what can we do that the kids are like and I can like? How do families actually start looking to incorporate arcades into their next trip? And what are mainly some of the must-visit locations all across the country that you found?
Yeah, I just put arcade into a map, and a lot of times it'll pull it up. The ones I really like are the ones that are kind of a freestanding arcade that might have a bar with it or a restaurant so that you can, eat pizza and stuff there too. We went to a great one in Monterey, California called High Scores Arcade that was really fun. It had Oregon Trail there, which was kind of amazing. I hadn't played that in decades. So, there's one called Sea Cave that's in New Orleans. That's an underwater theme.
Oh, wow.
And another favorite is Ground Control in Portland, Oregon. It's a really huge facility, has pinball and all sorts of different things.
I think one of the things that parents need to do, and you hit the nail on the head there, it's like, all right, we're going to go somewhere, yada, yada. Let's say, Des Moines. I'll say Des Moines, Iowa. Like, let's find something that the kids are going to like. Arcades is something universally everybody can play and have fun and watch, and there's some skill to it as well. So I can imagine it can really bring the family together. Is it something that, you surprise the kids and say, hey, where do you want to go? Or do you entice them like, hey, I know we're going to Des Moines, but they got this really cool arcade that has yada, yada. Maybe not oversell it. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, a lot of times I keep it in my back pocket. I mean, it's a good activity when you've had kind of a busy day and you want to have an activity at the end, but that's kind of like low key. Um, and it's also good when, let's say it's really hot somewhere that you've been. That's why we went to the Portland one. It was really, really extremely hot the weekend we were there. So it gives you an indoor activity that's, a little bit more relaxing.
Makes a lot of sense. Thank you so much, Kate, for joining us. Now, if you want to find out more about this and find arcades all over the country, of course, you can head to businessinsider.com. We'll have links on our website, dailyflashshow.com. Thank you, Kate.
All right, Mitch, good stuff. Well, check this out. If you are a fan of the HBO hit series White Lotus, this vacation is for you.
Oh, okay.
50 fans will be on a vacation to die for. Four Seasons will be whisking 50 super fans, travelers on an experience all around the globe. The tour begins on a private jet, and each stop will feature a stay at 8 resorts, 3 of which were used as the backdrop for the show. The 20-day getaway will start in Thailand on May 7th. Then it will be on to Italy, and then the tour will wrap up in Hawaii. In addition to the White Lotus stops, Morocco, Mexico City, and the Maldives are part of the itinerary. The cost, if you're interested, $188,000 per person. Extra adventures not included.
And just keep in mind, every episode so far, somebody's died. Or every season.
Season, yes, exactly.
Keep that in mind too. But yeah, man, I watch these. They say this is the gig to get.
Oh my
Because they take him out there. And also, Mike White was on Survivor. He invited his Survivor troops as, what do you call it, extras. You'll see him do like cameo spots.
So?
People that were on when he did Survivor, the TV show Survivor.
He's an interesting guy.
Very interesting, yeah.
When I lived in Los Angeles, I did some background work for one of his first projects.
Oh, really?
And I remember thinking, this guy's really interesting. Like, he doesn't quite fit the mold, right?
Right.
He just, he's kind of an actor, but he's also, the huge success that this show has had. It's incredible. But that was 20 years ago.
It took him a while to do that.
It took him this long to get to this point.
Of course, I think School of Rock is really what kind of catapulted him to that. But this is a great show. If you're not watching White Lotus, you got to watch it.
And Banana Republic now has a White Lotus wardrobe option on their website.
Oh, really?
So you can shop White Lotus men and women from the Banana Republic website.
I want to wear whatever Walter Coggins is wearing because he always looks very, very casual.
Looks good, doesn't he?
We have more of today's trends, tomorrow's talk. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Daily Flash.
Hey now, ladies and gents, welcome to Doing It with yours truly, Matt Doolittle. Welcome, ladies, gentlemen, fine men of the country, women of the country, I guess. Well, I have to tell you, friends, it's been quite the adventure the last couple days. Myself and my wife, well, she booked us a little trip up to
New York City.
Yes, my wife put together an amazing trip for us because I just show up and go, yeah, I'll figure it out when I get there, but she spreadsheets everything. So for our 1-year anniversary, we headed up to New York City to see one of my favorite actors of all time, Mr. Doug Ross from ER, Mr. Ryan Bingham from Up in the Air, Mr. Bruce Wayne, he'd like to forget that one, and most notably, Mr. Danny Ocean, George Clooney, and we got to see him do a play about my favorite movie, Good Night and Good Luck, which was kind of exactly the same telling of it, but hey, good enough. Now, I will tell you, George just played Edward R. Morrow as George Clooney. He did his little head clips and all that stuff. It was about an hour and a half. It was at the Garden Theater in the Winter Garden Theater on Broadway, where the seats, you can still hear the shouts of the folks from the streets of New York City. And, New York City's living their lives, carrying on with what's happening outside the world, bringing it inside. But at the end of the day, it was an amazing performance and an amazing trip. Look, New York City is still and always has been an amazing city. Granted, you meet good smell with a bad smell and you go, what did I just step in? But that makes the city so well. It's amazing. Never mind. But it's amazing even after the pandemic, and that's what everyone is out there to look for, even after 5 years post-pandemic. New York is still as alive as it's ever been. The food is amazing. The Mario Brothers are still swapping money with whatever that green thing was with Minnie Mouse, and I saw Spider-Man get in a fight with the penguin from Madagascar. True story. I saw some live broadcasts. It was amazing. And you know what? New York City is always going to be doing it. I swear, watch out for those e-bikes out there, though, because they will clip you in the street.
Check this this out. March is National Sleep Awareness Month, and it turns out sleep isn't just a luxury, it is survival 101.
Right? Well, there's a new Vanderbilt study, and it tracked 47,000 adults and found out that not getting your solid 7 to 9 hours a night can actually bump up your risk of an early checkout by nearly 30%. Your heart, your immune system, even your well-being are all taking notes while you snooze. So yeah, it might be a good time to just stop bragging about how little sleep you get and start cashing in on those Z's.
And with our recent time change, sleep becomes that much harder to manage.
Indeed. Not to worry though, our Daily Flash nutrition expert, Liza Boone from Nelson's, joins us with some easy ways to help us get that shut-eye. What do you got for us, Liza?
Thanks, Mitch. I also have trouble falling asleep and staying asleep, and I've tried a lot of different natural products. Now, there are a lot of them out there, so I narrowed it down to the top 3 that I keep next to my bedside table. First is Rescue Sleep Spray. I almost every night have trouble sleeping because I'm thinking about work I didn't do or how AI is going to take my job someday. My favorite part of this is that Rescue Sleep calms my busy mind and relieves stress without making me drowsy. I still feel like myself when I finally drift off. The next must-have is blue light blocking glasses. They are kind of dark, but they really improve my sleep quality. It takes some getting used to because the colors are different, but I put them on when the sun goes down. Finally, aromatherapy spray. We underestimate our sense of smell. When I use lavender or chamomile essential oils at the same time every night, my mind incorporates the smell into a trigger for sleep.
Oh, okay.
It's really amazing how impactful just a few small changes in your nightly wind down can be. Better sleep tonight makes for a better day tomorrow, am I right?
So
Yes,
true, yes.
absolutely.
These are all easy to use and find. I got rescue and aromatherapy products in a natural food store. So there you go. 3 easy ways to sleep better naturally. Orange light, good smell, and a calm mind. Happy sleeping.
Oh, there you go.
Good ideas, Liza. How long do you have to keep the blue blocking glasses on in order for them to be effective?
Well, I put them on when the sun goes down to mimic the natural sunset. And then I leave them on until I fall asleep. Sometimes they stay on my face until I fall asleep.
All right. And it makes anything that helps you sleep a little bit better is going to help you throughout the next day. If you think about
when
that, right?
when Liza was setting up, I could smell lavender, and it immediately calmed me down.
Right?
Yes.
It's all association. So
Yeah.
think about that. Get some rest this month. Thank you there, Liza. Check this out. A 750-pound alligator seized by agents in upstate New York could actually be headed home in Buffalo. Remember this story?
Buffalo!
Albert, the 34-year-old gator.
Yes.
He spent his life being cared for in a lavish home setting, despite the homeowner actually being permitted to own the gator for nearly 30 years in that state. Well, New York now actually has claimed that he actually failed to keep up with the paperwork. Well, late last year, armed agents seized the gator from his domesticated habitat. The owner of the gator filed a complaint with the court, and the county judge actually ruled in his favor. So now the gator is coming home. New York's Department of Environmental Conservation has 30 days to return Albert to his new owner. And you might remember the DEC made headlines late last year after killing Peanut the squirrel. Remember that whole deal? And Fred the raccoon while responding to a neighbor's complaint. So this is a big deal out there.
Yes, absolutely.
Good to see that gator home, though it's not at the same time. We got more Flash coming up.
This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash.
Hi, everyone. I'm Andrea Jackson.
I am Mitch English. This is Daily Flash. We thank you so much for joining us here. We're going to have some fun this half hour, and it's because you here with us brings all that joy. I was on Reddit. I'm going to ask you guys, I want to hear your opinion about all of this.
Okay.
And maybe you do a thumbs up, thumbs down in the control room. All right. So this groom-to-be was on Reddit and said, listen, my fiance is planning as they get ready. They're going to get married, obviously. And she wants to have this quiet tribute to where she is going to wear her husband's her first husband, who died in a car accident, his ring around her neck. And he's like, I don't think he should. I don't think you should do that. I think you need to move on.
Yeah.
The fiance feels very conflicted about this because it makes him feel like he is
Second banana.
second banana in all this, second fiddle, if you will. The bride wants to honor the husband, the first husband, And so the new groom doesn't know what he should do. Should it be okay for her to do that? What were your
Thinking about
thoughts?
something borrowed, something blue.
Both of them.
Something
The
old.
blue would be the husband
Yeah.
thinking, man, I'm blue, I'm
Something
sad.
old, something new. I'm with the fiance on this one. I think that seems to be inappropriate. Now, if she wants to do it in her own subtle kind of way and not bring attention to it, because it's their day together, not his day with
Yeah.
her and her late husband. It's beautiful that she wants to honor his memory, but this is their new life together. So, is he in a relationship with two other people? Which it kind of seems like that's sort of the situation. I would have a problem with it.
Maddie?
Yeah.
Yeah, as the new fiance or the future husband there, I would definitely just be like, we really gonna bring this up? Like, are we starting a new life? Aren't we starting a new thing? Like, why are we doing that?
Yeah.
And then, like, what is she gonna have a picture of him at a dinner table?
You kind of wonder about that, right?
And is she kind of like, oh, I guess I'm stuck with this one because the other one died. Like, that's what I would feel like.
I could say the control room, thumbs up. Should she wear it? Should she wear it? Thumbs up or down in the control room. Let's get a quick survey in here. Let's see here what they have to say about it.
Thumbs down. They're saying
They're all
thumbs
saying
down.
that she should not. Okay,
Thumbs
they're saying
down. Thumbs down.
I
I think
No,
she
no.
should be able to do what she wants, mainly because, like, had her late husband not passed away, they wouldn't have ended up together.
Okay.
So, like,
That's a good point. No, that's a very valid point.
There's a little bit there.
But for
how
the-
close was he with her late husband? Was he her best friend? If so, yeah, totally inappropriate.
I can tell you, they had made a prior commitment. That's a very good point. And also, I want to tell you that the fact that if you're worried about being compared to the first husband,
Yeah.
If somebody dies, like you're widowed or widower, and you get an next, you're getting into a marriage with that other person too. But
Yes.
obviously the mindset has to be changed. I would imagine if it really, really bothered, it doesn't sound like it's bothered where it's not a cold. He just doesn't know what to do.
Well, what about
And I'd say
this?
just let her do it, man.
Couldn't you also, like, let's say she takes the ring, they take it to a jeweler, they melt that down or combine it with their current wedding ring, and then that way she's got both of them there
That's a good point,
together.
yeah.
So why couldn't she do that? Because to me it sounds like she's sort of separating herself from him and having this moment to herself, and it seems a bit selfish to me.
100%.
Yeah.
I would imagine that the husband, the first husband, would say, "Look, man, I'm dead, and you can move on. You're not moving on by leaving that around your neck."
Did he text her and say, "Look, I'm
say,
dead"?
Here's what you did. I'm dead. Forget about it. I can understand, but we put too much into the wedding days. We think all this stuff has to happen.
agree.
It's
Yes.
just a day.
Yeah, just today.
That's all it is.
yeah.
And it's one of those things where nothing's going to go right that day.
Nothing's
Like
gonna
everything
go-
you plan out for like 6 months, let's say,
Doesn't go.
and then nothing works out right.
DJ smells so good.
DJ
That's all I
smells
need
like-
to say.
People not sitting in
Your
the front
best
row.
man forgets to bring the drums that you said.
That could have happened.
Yeah.
The DJ plays fancy instead of the wedding march.
Oh,
All this happened at my wedding.
You have to sing the bridal song.
Yes. I was at both of your weddings, and as a patron to the wedding, everything seemed like it was fine.
It's
I
exactly.
didn't notice a darn thing. There were a couple of funny, awkward moments, but you expect that. But overall,
That's what makes it, don't you
was,
think?
Yeah, absolutely. But overall, I thought it was great. But you guys, I know, behind the scenes, are like, this is not going
We
right.
think it's falling apart. We think if we don't do this,
Yeah.
the world's
I
gonna
sent out my 300-pound groomsmen to try to figure out who's sitting in the front row and
There you
everything.
go.
They can't figure it out.
I was just worried about getting the dancing banana to sing, to do his ribbon dancing
banana.
at my wedding.
That
was my big
excellent.
concern.
Today on the Cemetery, I get to sit down with the man of 100 voices and 1,000 laughs, the incredible ventriloquist, Terry Fader. Check it out.
You won season 2.
Yes.
You then signed one of the biggest Vegas contracts of all time. How many times?
3 times.
3 times.
Yes.
Terry, in terms of variety, you have inspired more contestants than anyone on any show around the world.
Oh, thank you. This man is a legend.
You almost gave up. You were almost,
I
it was
did.
39,
I did.
40 years old, and you said, what am I doing?
In my 30s, I decided, maybe 35, I decided, I think I want to try being a ventriloquist. It's been my dream since I was 10. I want to be a professional ventriloquist. I did that for a few years, and then when I turned 40, I kind of was evaluating my life, and I thought, well, geez, I guess here I'm a 40-year. Who's ever going to really care about a 40-year-old ventriloquist? Mm-hmm. And so I went through a little bit of a depression thinking, wow, I guess my dream is over. Mm-hmm. And then I thought, wait a second, my dream isn't over. My dream was to be a professional ventriloquist, and I am. I'm going to be the best damn ventriloquist anybody's ever seen. When America's Got Talent came calling, man, I was ready. I had the mindset that I was going to be the best in the world at what I did, regardless of if I ever got discovered.
You are the sunshine of my life, yeah.
You aren't just a ventriloquist. You have focused on impersonating singers. And like Stevie Wonder, who I think might grace us with his presence today.
Hi, how's it going?
Oh my God, Stevie!
Nice to be here.
It's an honor.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So how is it?
I just called to say I love you.
Oh, and you zoomed to tell me that too. Oh, it's so good. I don't know now, Terry, I don't want to talk to you anymore, but no. You do more than 200 celebrity impressions, and you don't just talk. You gotta sing.
I do. There has to be some sort of a physiological difference in our makeup. I don't know how or why. I honestly, there's no trick. I don't know. I should not be able to make the tones that I do. What kills me is when I'm doing a really hard song, like, I just posted a Bohemian Rhapsody on a part of, that high part. So you think you can stone me and spit in my eye. So I'm doing this with this Freddie Mercury puppet, and people are like, his lips are moving. And I'm like, okay, you try singing Bohemian Rhapsody with your mouth closed, and you see if your lips don't move. It is impossible for my lips not to move at all. If my lips did not move, then I'm lip sync.
It's close to midnight. Something evil's lurking in the dark.
And this new show, you're not even just doing, what you've always been doing so well. You've added another layer now. You've added technology into the mix.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This is the most exciting. Look, I had a ball and I loved the Mirage. I loved playing New York, but I got to tell you, when I walked into the Strat, it's the most spectacular thing you've ever seen. And I've been in Vegas 18 years, a headliner in Vegas 18 years. I have probably rewritten my show 35 times.
Wow.
And people don't do that.
No.
People get into Vegas and they have the same show for, 15 years.
Yes.
And I won't do that. I have a different show, and I'm constantly updating my road show, and I'm constantly doing new things. And you just got to keep at it.
Check out terryfader.com. You can check out his tour dates around the country, more info about his ongoing residency at the Strat Hotel in Las Vegas, and also pick up some very cool merch like your own Winston the Impersonating Turtle Puppet Jr. for charity. And there's a lot of really cool merch. I was on there looking, and I said there's so many things for gifts and for yourself. Thank you so much, Terry. You are a blessing.
You too.
Make sure to catch Terry Fader on tour this summer or at his residency at the Strat in Las Vegas. And listen to the rest of the great conversation right here. I'm Doreen Taylor with The Scene with Doreen here at the Daily Flash each week. See you next time.
As we spring forward, it's time to reset and refresh. Lifestyle editor Joanne Butler joins us with a few of her favorite things. Hey, Joanne.
Hi, thanks for having me. Yeah, with tax season in full swing, scammers are working overtime to steal your personal information and your refunds even at every stage of the tax filing process, even attempting to file fraudulent returns in your name. In fact, 81% of people have reported falling victim to a tax scam, according to the latest LifeLock study. So you really need to be careful, especially with all the AI, this year. So I've partnered with LifeLock to share some easy tips to help you stay safe. First, know that the IRS will never reach out to you via email, text, or social media to request personal or financial info. So if you see anything from the IRS through these methods, it's likely a scam. Next, be careful with tax prep services and make sure your tax preparer has a valid Prepare Tax ID number and is actually authorized to file returns. A service like LifeLock is great because it helps monitor and protect against identity theft. Norton 360 with LifeLock, great, an all-in-one protection for your devices, so online privacy and identity, plus Norton Genie scam protection that uses AI to detect and fight against scams. All of it will alert you and help flag suspicious texts and emails and websites you browse, blocks fraudulent calls, just lots of layers of protection to help you avoid becoming the next scam victim. Next, spring clean all of your passwords, update them, enable multi-factor authentication on your accounts and your devices, and double check your credit reports for signs of ID theft. You know, the key is to stay ahead of scammers before they get you. And it doesn't need to be complicated. Just get it done one fell swoop. Hit lifelock.com or norton.com, two great websites that have a ton of great advice and more ways to stay protected. Now, this time of year is also when you want to make sure everything in your home is up to snuff too, checking fire alarms, smoke detectors. You also want to make sure your power is protected during unexpected outages. I can't tell you how many times, I've been caught. So again, you want to be protected before it gets you. So I'm loving this kit from Jackery. It's their 5,000 plus essential home backup kit. Comes with two 500-watt high-powered solar panels along with a smart transfer switch that just seamlessly integrates into your home's electrical system, letting you generate your own clean power. And unlike traditional gas generators, it's quiet and indoor safe. And whole home systems that require hefty installation, this kit will cover your most needed essentials for half the cost, even during extended outages. So the fridge, the lights, your internet, your computer, just all of it. This is just simple but very powerful, super smart investment to keep you powered, connected, and safe. And that's what it's all about. For more info on this, visit jackery.com. Now, last but not least, check the outside of your home too. Check your roof, give it a once over, check the gutters, check the screens. Sometimes during the winter months, the screens get loosed and you'll be outside hanging out and a screen will fall. So you don't want that to happen. So just give your home a good once over and you'll be good to go. And happy, safe spring.
Dairy brand Puck has launched a heartfelt initiative this Ramadan to support mothers and families in Lebanon. It's a way to help them rebuild their lives through the power of food.
When a food recipe travels without borders, goes to places even the mom herself haven't been to, that's not just food, that's power, that's freedom. Recipe for Change represents a tribute to the unsung heroes of Lebanon, the resilient moms that through the toughest time kept a smile and hope.
إنه فل من هون من لبنان؟ لا، خلقت هون، عشت هون، مدرستي هون، عذابي هون، بس بحس بغصة.
أنا بحياتي مش طالعة من لبنان، مش بارمته، حتى من كفركلة مش طالعة كتير. طبخت تسافر وتسبقني.
هاي رسالة انكتبت بخط ايدها لأمي الله يرحمها، كاتبينها على كرتونة عيلة خسة كلينكس.
Every recipe holds a small piece of Lebanon, a story of it, the background, where it comes from. It is a groundbreaking business model where we actually got these moms, their recipes, their tradition cherished and brought to international menus around the world.
أنا كتير مبسوطة شيف إنه صارت الريسيت بين إيديكم.
أكيد نحن أكيد أكتر وبنيادي أمينة بدك تقولي صارت.
يعني ما بتخيل إنه هالبيجي بالمكونات البسيطة إنه حتصير بالمطاعم برا وهي اسمها حتكون وصفة فيفيان.
هلا صرتي مشهورة.
This isn't charity, it's empowerment. These women aren't receiving aid, they're receiving orders, and they're really turning their struggles into strength. Basically, we transform these book consumers, these moms, into business partners. And not only as a business partner today, but on the long term, bringing their cherished recipes, keeping their tradition alive and values all over the world.
Allegra, a global leader in allergy relief, is collaborating with the live-action film Disney's Snow White. The team shows how fast-acting, non-drowsy Allegra can help turn your allergy season into a fairy tale. Allegra took part in an experience in a Snow White-inspired environment featuring Sneezy and Sleepy. Check it out.
What if Sneezy and Sleepy weren't sneezy or sleepy? Allegra Allergy Relief is here for the premiere of Disney's Snow White, asking guests that very question.
Hi.
Let's see what I got.
I've got to get your deliciously evil advice. What do you think makes Sleepy so sleepy?
Being awake. Being awake is a tiring thing.
It's so cozy in the little cottage. I get it. I can relate. I would do the same.
Oh, if Sneezy wasn't sneezing all the time, I think he'd be chill, man. He'd be the most chill, He wouldn't even carry around a handkerchief, honestly. Wouldn't need it.
If he wasn't sleeping all the time, I mean, going into a lot of different kinds of business. It's a very resourceful chap, but, he's just sort of been sleeping on it for a while.
So wait, if Sleepy wasn't sleepy all the time,
He'd be a DJ, I
he
guess.
would be. Yeah, he would be a DJ.
He's
He'd be getting turned up the house
He's
beats.
squandering his talents.
Can I get your best impression of being Sneezy?
Sneezy, I don't know.
I hear you might be a big fan.
A big fan of Allegra? Yeah.
A storybook allergy season is a real no-brainer. See Disney Snow White in theaters March 21st.
With Allegra, you can stop being sneezy without feeling sleepy.
Hello? I'm sleepy. Yeah, we know.
Allegra has 0% brain interference for fast, non-drowsy allergy relief, so you won't be sneezy or sleepy.
Do you know what I'm allergic to?
Maybe not even grumpy. Stop your sneeze and ditch your drowsiness with Allegra. It's a no-brainer. See Disney Snow White in theaters March 21st. Rated PG.
KSA Entertainment is proud to offer programming to the men and women of our military and their families, serving all over the world on AFN, American Forces Network, seen worldwide.
Hey, before we head into the weekend, we like to give you our picks for streaming for the weekend. This is where we tell you something you got to check out on your streaming services. We always start off by AJ. What do you got?
Okay, I kind of thought this would be great for Matt. My pick for the weekend is the Amazon Prime show Up for Auction featuring Disney memorabilia. Here's host Chris Hardwick.
Now, what if I told you I found the largest privately owned Disney-themed collection in existence, and a very prestigious auction house is putting it all up for sale in an incredible and unprecedented 3-day auction in the hopes of making millions?
So this show is crazy because one guy was able to amass all these incredible Disney collectibles, from costumes to cars to vans. I mean, you name it, he had it. And then they combined them all together for one big auction. But it's kind of neat to sort of shop from your home.
One of the biggest collectors out there is John Stamos.
Oh,
He has like the Disneyland sign in his backyard.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Wow.
So I think we've all shopped there, but at one time or another. But what's the real story behind the fall of Payless? Well, I found it on a YouTube series, Bright Sun Films, with their piece called Bankrupt, Payless Shoe Source.
For over 60 years, there has been one brand name so ubiquitous as a place to find affordable footwear. It was Payless, a brand which was born as a discount store which sold shoes differently, and one which grew to truly incredible heights. In just a few decades, their presence across the world would stretch over 5,000 stores.
It's a great series on YouTube, and they go into how all these companies became bankrupt because you always think you're the prime company of the world and nothing will ever happen. And then it talks about how they just dissolve because they just get eaten up by the market.
Well, not only that, and then you get investment groups that come in. They do it for tax reasons. They can shut it down. They make more money closing it down. It makes no sense. All right, it's time to go to church. The final season of Righteous Gemstones has a pew wide open for you, and it's now streaming on Max.
Daddy is such a nerd who gets no action. Daddy's Rizless.
Seems pretty cool to me.
Very cool.
When you this age, you got to get it where you can get it. Am I right?
Am I supposed to live the rest of my life in mourning?
Yes!
Billy's baby.
The Gemstone family is back for the 4th and final season. There is no better character on television right now than Baby Billy.
Yes, Baby Billy.
Walton Goggins. Y'all take care. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.